Welcome to this edition of The Link. It's a continuation of last week's discussion. We were discussing the whole issue of consultancy. What can I do? How do I get into it? How do I succeed? And because of our short time, we did part 1. And if you missed it, please find it online. Our YouTube channel, youtube.com/NTV Uganda. Click videos and search for The Link. You'll find part 1 of the discussion on consultancy. Today, we're discussing part 2. And we were continuing with John. John, last week when we stopped,
yes,
we were speaking about payment and expectations. I am used to earning a salary, and in consultancy, what happens with payment and how do I manage my life? Give us a little bit of insight into that area.
Okay, so consultancy, the payment is really linked on particular deliverables as per the contract that you would have signed. And that payment is given to you in percentages, 10%, 20%, 30%, and so on. So it means that unlike a salary where unlike employment where your salary comes regardless of whether you have accomplished, whether things are pending or not, here, if you're not able to deliver, say, a draft report on time, you won't be paid. Some clients are lenient, they'll give you more time, they'll relax and say, okay, you deliver it tomorrow. Other clients will stick with a contract and say you have breached the contract, we are not proceeding with this work. So if you are the kind that's shifting from, you have to change your mindset, because this is a mindset of delivery and strict delivery of things. Okay. So it means that if your deadline is due, many times consultants don't sleep. You spend the whole night working so that you're able to send in your report. If it's midnight, if they say it's midnight GMT plus 3, that's also critical. But when they say 12 p.m. GMT plus 4, then for you send on your midnight. You see, you find that you have sent it and the wrong time.
You have cut off.
So wherever your client is, make sure that the time zone that they have, you reconcile it with yours, you get the correct deadline, and are able to submit in your deliverable on time.
So in effect, we see that with consultancy, competitiveness is at the big animal. Let's move on to the question of, okay, John, I am qualified.
Yes.
I am an expert. I've been working for 30 years in employment. Maybe I've even retired, or I'm near retirement, or I'm tired of being employed, and I want to move to consultancy. How do I transition? Transition is the key word. How do I transition? Okay,
first of all, transition means you need a bit of orientation, like I've told you.
Yes.
Many people have never looked at a TOR.
What's a TOR?
A terms of reference.
Okay.
A term of reference is the one that tells you what the client wants. So, and then you must learn how to interpret the terms of reference. And then you must prepare a proposal that speaks to the terms of reference. And then you must be able to put together a team that's competitive. You must be able to price correctly. So educate yourself.
Formal processes, I need to know the processes.
Educate yourself how to manage these assignments. Secondly, the CVs. You know, a CV of an employee just highlights, I was in the KCCA from 2001 to 2011. I was the head of estates, and these were my duties. Consultants, this client is not interested in their duties. He's interested in what you did exactly. Your experience, it must come out. What were the accomplishments? During that time, I was able to slash 3 acres of KCCA grounds. During that, my time as estate manager of KCCA, Kampala was very clean and I was awarded as the leading. During my time, I supervised that. So they want to see your range of responsibilities and particular accomplishments. So it means you must change the way your CV is written. I must emphasize this again. And also, you must ensure that your CV keeps speaking to the needs of the client.
Perhaps it's more, John, it's more of a resume now, describing a little bit of details into, am I on point?
Exactly, whatever you call it, but it must show exactly what your experience is.
Yeah.
And also, whereas a typical employment CV may be 5, 7, 8 pages, a consulting CV may even go into 20 pages. But you must highlight your experience very clearly. And if you need support, there are people who can really support you to align your CV and so on. Once you do it the first or second time, you pick it up and then you move on.
And let me say this, that John is saying these things because he's actually has the ability to train people who want to go in consultancy. So this is not just a conversation. He's a man for those things, to equip you. Keep that in mind. John, how do personal attributes contribute to one becoming a consultant? Personal ethics, personal attributes.
Okay, first of all, remember this is a job of referencing.
True.
So if people, the first job, you're not going to get it through procurement.
No.
The first job, it's people you've worked with and people you have supported in the past who are going to vouch for you if a client and say, this guy can do the what? The job. So it means the way you behave now will have an impact on your ability to succeed in the consulting world. Secondly, the way you do your first job will also determine whether or not you'll get a second job. Because consulting is a repeat business.
Yeah.
I'll get a client and then every consulting assignment, it's me. That's why you find that in certain organizations, it is that guy who handles their consulting.
It's like the monopoly, but for some reason,
he's dependable. They know that, you know, he handles them well. So as an individual, therefore, you must be ethical. Secondly, you must be time conscious.
Time.
As I said, it's a time business, it's a deliverable based business. So if you are the kind that sends the deliverable 1 month late, how are you going to survive in the meantime?
That's your track record.
That's your track record. Then the other issue is that also don't go into the consulting business if it's your only means of survival. Remember, the money comes, you're not sure that you're going to have consulting work for 12 months in the year. So what will happen in the middle there? So it means you must have other options. Otherwise, you may appear too desperate and too hungry, and that may push away clients also.
Imagine.
That is why you underprice, because you're saying, no, I need this job, whatever it takes. Even if you give me 50,000 per day, I'll take it. Then the client said, no. This guy is too desperate. He has no options. He's not going to add value. So as a consultant, those are all things you need to resolve.
Okay. How do I succeed as a consultant where there are other people? And I know earlier talked about niches. How do I succeed? There are other people in the market. Maybe they're better than me as perceived, but I am good. I'm not known. How do I succeed where there are others?
So you have to get a niche, and that niche needs to keep evolving. I was telling you before the program, in the year 2000, we had what they call the millennium bug, the Y2K problem. Those young people who are not yet born, they are now 18. They have never heard of it. The Y2K problem. You can Google it. Where computers were confused around dates and things of that sort. So the government set up a secretariat, a Y2K secretariat in the Ministry of Finance. The consultants who man that secretariat, their skills are no longer needed. They were needed in the year 2000.
Obsolete.
So what are they doing? Their skills are now obsolete. What we need are experts now on COVID-19. So you must find a niche for yourself based on the market trends. Now COVID is the in thing. Become an expert in COVID in public health. Because there is
in your area, near
your area. Because there is COVID-19 and public health. There is the impact of COVID-19 in the media world. There's impact on COVID-19 in young children. Impact of COVID-19 in HIV and AIDS and so on. So wherever you are, you can be an expert in a particular niche. But how do you build up that expertise? A, through experience. Linking this new problem to your previous experience. B, through education. There are a lot of online courses now. Take it in COVID-19 resilience and so on, and you'll be good to go.
It will fine-tune you what you already know.
It will fine-tune what you already know, and people will say, yeah, this is what we want right now. And they'll be willing to pay for. You see, people pay not for your qualifications, but for the value that you're offering them. They will pay for you $500, $600 per day because of what you offer.
Okay.
And education is never waste. You may pay because Ugandans are obsessed with scholarships. Everything scholarship. You find a rich man is looking for scholarship. You see, that someone is worth $5 million is looking for scholarship.
Something free.
You don't want to pay $200 to attend the course. Please, Ugandans, pay. That money will come back. Because you will pay $200 for the course, but then they'll pay you $300 per day once you have it, and you can demonstrate how important it is to what they are doing.
Finally, as we wrapping up, we have talked about being a consultant.
Yes.
For the consultants, let's speak to the people who need a consultant. If you're looking for a consultant, what should you look for? I'm just flipping the question. What should I look for if I'm looking for a genuine consultant, if I'm the one needing the services?
I think the most important things are qualifications. Because remember, you've not met this person. You're just looking. You're just putting out a call. So obviously, most procurers will have their own criteria You know, you must have spent so many years in this field, you must have this qualification. I think initially those help to signal capacity. But then once you start dealing with people, you need to look beyond the qualifications and the experience. You need to look at the person's aptitudes as an individual and how easy is it for the some consultants are arrogant. They think they're experts, they think they know it all. They come into an organization and they feel that they are the experts in their business. Okay, therefore they create an unnecessary dynamic with the staff.
Even chaos.
So a consultant should be humble enough to also learn, so that it's a two-way kind of process. A consultant is more of a facilitator. Although I said initially that's an expert, but you can't be an expert in everything. So there must be, as you're looking for a consultant, look for someone who is humble, flexible, someone who is able to deliver on time. If they're not able to deliver on time, they're able to alert you. I'm sorry, I won't beat the deadline for ABCD reason, and then you are able to kind of plan accordingly.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, John, for allowing us to take you through 2 sessions of consultancy and educating us. John is a consultant for over 15 years, it's actually 17 years of consultancy in Uganda and elsewhere. So he's qualified to say what he said. If you missed part 1 again, this was part 2. Please find it online. We hope that we continue to be useful to you and give you information that you can use. So if you are considering joining the world of consultancy, I hope we contribute something to that journey. That was the link. Thank you for joining us tonight.